Alright, so this video is to help you with your homework that I gave you Friday. This is called Intro to Navigation Homework. The first two problems simply wanted you to draw a course or a bearing, which is the same thing. It's the degree angle from the north. So let's go look at letter B. I'll let you do number 1A on your own, and you can pause the video and come back and check. So we'll do B together. So on B, they want me to draw where 284 degrees would be. So I know all the way to here is 270. So I know 284 is going to be in the upper left part of my compass. So just like we did before, I want to know what these wedges are. So in order to figure out this wedge, I've gone 270. I need to go 284. So we're simply going to subtract 284 minus 270. And we're going to see that this little wedge is 14 degrees. Okay, that's all you have to do. Don't make it any harder than that. So why don't you go try A, pause the video, and then come back and check to see if you got it right. Okay, so you've hopefully tried it already, and you've drawn your compass, and I know that 110 degrees is going to be on the bottom right, because I know this first little piece is 90, so I know maybe somewhere over here. Again, I need to figure out what this little wedge is. I know the total distance is 110, and I've gone 90 so far, so I'm just going to subtract them. So 110, take away 90, tells me that my wedge is going to be 20 degrees. Okay, and that's all you had to do for number 1A and B. You will have to be able to answer questions like that on your test. Number 2, I want you to give the course of different directions. So the first direction they want you to give the course of is northwest. I believe this is the one we did in class. So I'm going to go draw my compass. And then I'm going to remember that north is the top of the compass and west is the left. So I'm going to have an angle in the top left. And when they ask you for the course, they want to know from the north. So they want you to go all the way around your circle. This is not surveying. This is not where you want the acute angle. I want the entire swish. So 90 plus 90 is 180. Plus 90 more is 270. So I know all the way to here is 270. And then I need to go this little bit of wedge, and because I went right in the middle, I know that little wedge is 45. So I'm going to go add those together. So 270 plus 45 gives me 315 degrees. Okay, go try B, pause the video, and then come back and check it. So we're going to go draw the compass for B. They want me to go southeast. So south means down here at the bottom. East. It's going to be the bottom right. Again, I know this little piece right here is 90. And because I went right in the middle, this is 45. So we're going to add 90 plus 45 and get 135 degrees. I believe we did number 3, A and B, in class, but just in case, let's go over it again. First thing we have to do is sketch the picture. Ship X sights ship Y on a bearing of 308 degrees. So I know 308 degrees is going to put me in the top left of my quadrant. Of my compass. So I'm going to come down here at the bottom because I know I need to draw an arrow going this direction. So I have to have space. So they told me that X sights Y on a bearing of 308. So this is X and this is Y. And 308 is going to put me all the way over here. So again, we got to figure out this little wedge in order to answer the question. I know I've already gone 270, but I need to go 308. So we're going to go back to what we've been doing. We're going to subtract. I want 308. I've gone 270. So what's left? 38. So this little wedge is 38. Okay, so that's my picture. The question they want me to answer is what is the bearing of X from Y? That means they want me to go to the Y, and they want me to switch like this from the north. Alternate interior angles tells me this wedge right here is 38 degrees. This little piece right here. And I know this is 90, so all I have to do is add 90 plus 38. 90 plus the alternate interior angles of 38 tells me that there's a bearing of 128 degrees. Okay. Number 4 is the exact same problem we did in our notes, so I'm not going to waste video time doing this. I want you to go back and watch the video before this over the notes. It was problem or example number, where'd it go? It was example number 5 in your notes. So just flip back over there and look at your notes and copy the problem, hopefully taking yourself back through all the little steps. All right, number 5. So number 5 is very similar to our sailboat problem. It says an airplane flies on a course of 110 degrees at a speed of 1,200 kilometers per hour. How far east of the starting point is it after 2 hours? Okay, so we've got an airplane flying east, on a course of 110 degrees. So 110 degrees will put me in the bottom left. And I'm going to go on this line of 110 degrees at a speed of 1,200 kilometers for 2 hours. So just like we did earlier, we're going to multiply these two to figure out how long my line is. So 1,200 times 2 tells me that this line is 2,400 kilometers. And if I went 110 degrees, remember I have to find my little wedges. We're going to do 110 minus, I've already gone 90 to see how much more I went, and I went an extra 20. So I know this inside piece is 20. And they want to know how far east am I from the starting point. So they want to know this distance right here. How far east? They want to know this. I see, because we're talking about east, that I now have a right triangle. And I know this distance right here is 2,400. And I know that I'm looking for this distance here. So I see SOHCAHTOA, I see, let's write these down. SOHCAHTOA. So I see SOHCAHTOA. What I need to figure out is which one it is. Well, if I'm going to use this angle right here of 20, and this is the hypotenuse, it's the slanted side, I know it has to be one of these. So is the x opposite or adjacent? In this problem right here, the way we drew it, it's the adjacent. So that means I'm going to use cosine. So cosine of 20 is equal to the adjacent over the hypotenuse. We're going to multiply both sides by the denominator. So 2,400 times cosine of 20. I'm going to go to my calculator. 2,400 times cosine of 20, and we get 2255.26. So x equals 2,255 kilometers, 0.26 kilometers. Okay, that's one way to do it. If you don't like SOHCAHTOA, again, you can go back and do law of sines. My triangle has to add up to 180 degrees. So 90 plus 20 is 110. It means if this were 70 down here, I could use my law of sines. So remember, I need an angle and an opposite side. So I know this is 2,400 and the angle opposite is 90. So I can do sine of 90 over 2,400 is equal to, I'm looking for x, and the angle opposite is 70. So sine of 70 over x. Remember, I'm going to circle the numbers that are diagonal. So I'm going to circle these two numbers. I'm going to multiply those. So I'm going to have 2,400 times sine of 70. Enter. And then I'm going to divide by the one I didn't circle. Well, if you remember anything about your unit circle, remember sine of 90 is just 1. So you shouldn't be surprised to get the same answer back. And hey, that matches this exact answer we got using SOHCAHTOA. So again, it doesn't matter which method you use. All right, number 6. A plane flies 600 kilometers on a course of 300 degrees. It then flies south for a while and finally flies on a 40-degree course to return to its starting point. Find the total distance traveled. All right, so the first thing we have to do is we're going to have a plane, and it's going to go on a course of 300 degrees. So when I go draw my compass, I'm going to be drawing a line, and 300 degrees is going to be the top left. So I'm going to start my picture about right here. Plenty of room. So 300 degrees is going to make me go this direction. And I'm going to go this direction for 600 kilometers. So I know this is 600. Because I went 300, I know this little angle in here is 30. Hopefully you're getting better at this by now. So all the way to here gets me to 270. 300 minus 270 gives me that little 30-degree wedge. So my little wedge right there is 30 degrees. It says it's then going to fly south for a while. So I'm going to change my compass, and I'm going to go directly south. Now, you might be thinking, okay, well, I'm going to stop here. But because I kept reading, it says it flies south, and then it changes course to 40 degrees to get back to where it started. Well, if I went and did my compass here, 40 degrees would make me go here. That means I need to pass up where I started. Okay? Now I can go draw my compass, and I know 40 degrees is almost going to be halfway. So I know this angle is 40. I know that this angle is 30. So if this is 30, that means this little wedge is 30, which means this wedge is 60, because 30 plus 60 gives me that 90. Now I can use my triangle rule. 60 plus 40 is 100, which means this whole angle has to be 80, which means this little piece in here was 50. Okay, and let's see, did they give me anything else? No, that's it. So only piece of information I know is that as far as distance is this first little leg of the journey was 600. I need to go find this missing side, we'll call it X, and I need to find this missing side, we'll call it Y. So I'm going to go use my law of sines. It's not a right triangle, so I cannot use SOHCAHTOA to find X. And then I'm going to use my law of sines to find Y, and then I'm going to take all three answers and add them up. Alright, so let's go find X first. Remember, you have to use the angle and the side opposite. So the side X and the angle opposite is 80. So sine of 80 over X is equal to. Now the only angle and side that I know is 40 and 600. So sine of 40 over 600. Okay. So we're going to do what we did earlier. We're going to cross multiply these two. So we're going to multiply 600 times sine of 80 and divide by sine of 40. Okay. So we're going to do 600 times sine of 80, enter, divided by sine of 40. And we're going to get 919.25. So I know this little piece right here is 919.25. Okay. Now we're going to go find side Y. We're going to do the exact same setup. Opposite the Y is 60. So sine of 60 over Y. And again, I'm going to use the ones that I was given, these initial two right here. So I'm going to have sine of 40 over 600. And then we're going to do the same multiplication. I'm going to multiply these two and then divide by the sine of 40. So we're going to do it again. So we're going to have 600 times sine of 60, enter, divided by sine of 40, the one I haven't used yet. And we get 808.38. So Y is 808.38. And that shows over here on this side of the triangle. Okay, let's go back and look at the question they asked. They want me to find the total distance. So that means I have to take all three of these numbers and add them up. So I'm going to have 919.25. I'm going to have 808.38 and 600, and we're going to add all those up. And I will let you finish that part on your own. There's no reason that you can't sit there and add three numbers for me. So that part I'll let you finish. On number 7, they are using navigation. They're using surveying. I know it's surveying because it's got the north and the west. And all they want you to do is draw it. So they want you to draw something that's north 70 degrees west. North means I need to be at the top of my compass, and west means I'm going to go to the left. So I'm going to draw this. And they are actually giving you the wedge from whatever they started with. So they're giving you the wedge from the north. So that piece right there is 70. That's all you had to do. On letter B, they're telling you to draw something going south 56 degrees east. South means we're going to be at the bottom. East means we're going to be at the right. Again, they're always going to give you the degree from the pole that you started with, and they started with the south. So this time they're telling you this from the south to the line is 56 degrees. Okay, let's go look at number 8. Number 8, point S is 4 kilometers west of R. If S is west of R, that means this is going to be to the left. So I know that S is to the left of R. So here's R. And I know that it's actually 4 kilometers. So S is 4 kilometers to the left of R. That's the first piece. And then it says, and T is 4 kilometers southwest of S. Well, here's my compass. Southwest puts me right here. And it's also 4. Okay, so here's T. Here's R. They're both 4 kilometers from S. All right, because this was west, I know this little piece is 90. Because I went southwest, I know this wedge is 45, this is 90, so that is 135 inside. Because I know this big angle is 135, the first thing they want me to do is find the distance. They want me to find this distance from here to here, from T to R. So in order to find the distance from T to R, we're going to use our law of cosines. So we're going to do side that we're looking for squared is equal to the side that we know, the sum of those two sides, minus 2 times their product, times cosine of the angle between. Remember, when you type it in your calculator, you have to remember to go take the square root. So here we go. 4 squared plus 4 squared minus 2 times their product times cosine of the angle between, and we said the angle between was 135. You get this answer here, and that will probably be an answer choice on your test. Don't pick it. Remember to go take the square root of whatever that is, and we get 7.39. So equals 7.39, and we're in kilometers. All right, so the last thing they want you to find is they want you to find the bearing from T to R. So they want me to go to the North Pole right here, and they want me to hit this line, so they're going to swish it. Okay, in order to find that degree right there, I already know this piece right here. Because of alternate interior angles, I know this piece is 45. I need to find this little guy here, and once I know this angle, I can add the two of them together. And we're going to use law of sines to find that angle. So I have sine of x over 4, because that's the side opposite, is equal to, I now know this side over here is 7.39, and I know this angle is 135, so sine of 135 over 7.39. Again, we're going to circle the two numbers that are diagonal. We're going to multiply those, and this time I'm dividing by a number, not a sign, because I'm looking for the angle. So here's how it's going to look in your calculator. 4 times sine of 135, enter, divided by 7.39. Okay, and you're going to get this little decimal. And what you have to remember is, because I'm looking for an angle, we have to hit the what button? The second button. So we're going to second sine, and then I'm going to second answer because I want that to pop in there. So that angle inside is 22.5. This right here is 22.5, this little piece. So now I'm going to take the 45 from my alternate interior angle and add the 22.5. So we're going to have 45 plus 22.5, and we're going to see that our bearing is 67.5 degrees. All right, last problem from the homework. I believe I did this in class for all of my classes, but I'll just do it again so you can hear it. It's always good to hear it more than once. A forest ranger at Lookout A sights a fire directly north of her position. So here's Lookout Tower A, and directly north of A, we've got a fire. So here's my fire. Another ranger at Lookout B, exactly 3 kilometers to the west, remember west means left, directly to the left, I've got a lookout tower B, and it's 3 kilometers. Sight's the same fire. Sights, it means it can see it. And here's the line of sight that I'm dashing. And they're telling me that that line of sight has a bearing of north 43.8 east. Remember, that's from the first pole, which is north. So this piece out here is 43.8. Because this piece is 43.8, so is this one on the inside. Okay, so they want to know how far from the fire is lookout A. So they're looking for this piece here. So if I wanted, I could go ahead and use SOHCAHTOA. I'll do law of sines in a second. SOHCAHTOA to solve this right now. So because I'm using SOHCAHTOA, the 3 is the opposite. The x is the adjacent. So O and A means tangent. So it'll be tangent of 43.8 is equal to the opposite over the adjacent. I multiply both sides by x. X is not by itself, so I have to divide. So x is going to be equal to 3 divided by the tangent of 43.8. So I'm going to go type that in my calculator. 3 divided by the tangent of 43.8. And we get 3.1, I'm going to round up 3. So x is equal to 3.13. Okay, now let's say that you're a person that hates SOHCAHTOA. If you do, you're going to go use law of sines. To use law of sines, I have to find this angle down here. Remember, the whole triangle has to add up to 180. So 90 plus 43.8, and I'm going to subtract that from 180. And we're going to say that that missing angle is 46.2. So this piece is 46.2. Now I can use law of sines. I know the angle and the opposite side here go together. So I'm going to have sine of 43.8 over the opposite side is 3 is equal to sine of, if I want to know x, I have to use this angle right here, 46.2 over x. We're going to circle the numbers that are diagonal and divide by the one we didn't circle. Okay, so I'm going to go multiply. 3 times sine of 46.2, enter, divided by sine of 43.8. Hey, I got the exact same answer, 3.13. Okay, I hope this helped. Take the time to go over this again, repeat it, slow it down, pause it, ask me questions in class. We're going to do some more examples tomorrow, and I hope that helps.